Hello everyone, my name is Natalinus malau with student number 20018136. Will try to explain the topic of the final test. I choose to talk about cultural differences in America and in Indonesia. There are a lot of stories that you are probably missing when you think about America. My humble suggestion is to not blindly believe and digest the information without having a broad mindset or gathering all the missing pieces of the American story itself. America is very diverse. It is difficult to see American culture clearly because American culture is a melting pot. The first term of the melting pot was created when European immigrants came to America in 1908 to seek the American dream. And right now, there are even more and more people coming to America that are from Europe, Asia, Latin America, and all over the world. People from all over the world have contributed their culture to American culture. Some Americans have absorbed immigrant culture wholeheartedly, and some have not. Similarly, most people who come from other countries are assimilating to the American culture, unconsciously due to the environment and habits that we see all around us. Another reason as to why I mentioned that it is tough to see American culture purely is because what we know about American is only the whiteness. We know that white Americans are the center of American culture for such a long time, but now not anymore. For example, black culture is also part of American culture. Black culture is varied. It is wonderful and colorful. Black culture forms lots of music genres like jazz, blues, rock, R&B, hip hop, and includes certain professions like athletics, activism, speeches, singers, dancers, hairstyle, food, and the ability to remix the word like slang. Truthfully, black culture is very vibrant and global as other culture. You know it, but you don't realize it. You can see how Black American culture influenced people in Korea and in Japan in music and fashion. I love hip hop music. When I was young, I did not know that it was coming from black culture. There is no culture without life. Black American culture was formed because it exists. My reason for bringing up this specific story is because I know that too many not too many Indonesian receive the true story about American culture. Again, it is hard to understand the real American story. It requires a full understanding of what happened in the past and present. There might be a difference between black and white culture. However, they are one. One of the most significant differences between American and Indonesian culture is individualism. American tends to be very individualistic, whereas Indonesian tend to be group and family-based oriented. Most American adults leave their homes and want to be independent when they turn 18. But many Indonesians live with their parents even after they have married and have kids. Indonesian family sticks together to ensure each member of the family internalizes the same values. I think some Americans tend to be more individualistic because of the way their country was born. America was born through a revolutionary war with England, which they called the War of Independence. During this time, there were so many individuals and families seeking opportunities. Another factors might be from the country's constitution, which promotes individual liberty. The constitution preserves the liberty of each individual instead of the community or group. On the other hand, our country, Indonesia, was formed based on the philosophy of Pancasila, the five principles of Indonesia. Our founding fathers wanted to unify the Indonesian people due to the diverse culture that Indonesia has. Secondly, America has a lower power distance than Indonesia. What does that mean? Here is an example. In Indonesia, we are prone to have space with our boss in the workplace due to our strict hierarchy. We tend to call our boss Miss, Mr., or Mrs. because our supervisor are usually older than we are. However, no matter how old your boss is, you can just call that person by their first name in the United States. The hierarchy is not rigid. In Indonesia, we can call our aunties or cousins who are older than us only by their first names. it's considered impolite. By contrast, in America, it is customary to call everyone by their first name, even older people. Americans even refers to their parents as you. This is forbidden in Indonesia culture because it is considered rude. If you ever have the chance to come to America in the future, try to do some research about how the culture works. Thirdly, when we talk about educational culture, Indonesian and America are very different. I would say that America has more rigid academic protocols than Indonesia. Discipline is the word that comes to mind when I think about the educational culture in America. In the US, we are expected to finish all tasks on time, no matter what. Students cannot turn assignments in late unless they are sick. Also, all assignments are due at midnight. This is interesting as in Indonesia. Our assignments are many times collected during class. Another difference is that the relationship between the student and the professor are less impersonal than they are in Indonesia. Professors in America are willing to help students because they want them to be successful. They are eager to spend the time to help students whenever they encounter problems with their homework. However, American students must meet a set of requirements to earn a good grade. Even when professor and students get along, this doesn't mean student will earn a high grade in the course. This is different than Indonesia, where empathy is part of the grading system. If you are not good in the class but you have a good attitude, the teachers might consider changing your grade. The reason is that why many Indonesian professors are deeply empathetic toward their students. Sympathy and empathy are an essential part of Indonesian culture. In my opinion, American culture and Indonesian culture are very different. These two cultures are very interesting. It requires acceptance to fully understand what it is. And there is no wrong or right terms in the of culture because we all come from a different world scope. That is my explanation for my theme for the final examination. Thank you for watching.